we get started today, I want to remind everybody to please share this video. Make sure that you subscribe to this channel and give this video a thumbs up. Real quick, as I'm sitting here, one of these little sulcatas just walked by me here. They're really cool. This is Law, and he just keeps growing and growing and growing. I'm not sure if you can see him there. When you look at something like this, how can you say that there is no God? Again, I love pets. I think they're the best therapy in the world, especially now with everything that's going on. Just so nice to sit out on the patio today and to be able to just watch these guys. We have a couple of them. Just to be able to watch them cruise around and eat. And it's just, I don't know, it's just very simple entertainment, but just reminds us how blessed we are and that there is a much more powerful force up above God. But I want to talk about a few things today. I know you didn't tune in to see the zoo here, but a few things I want to talk about today. Number one, on my way to the gym today, I passed by a couple of these new home developments. We have some of the biggest home builders out here building a lot of new homes, and I passed by about 4, maybe 5 of the new developments out here, and I've filmed a few of them in the past, as many of you have seen in the past. But the developments were absolutely dead. Nobody checking out the models. Very, very few people. A beautiful day today, not a cloud in the sky, gorgeous, dry, and you would think people would be out in this booming economy, the consumer being so strong that they would be out buying houses today with 30-year mortgages at around 7%. Where are all the people? Where did all the buyers go? I didn't see them today. It looked like a ghost town when I passed by every one of these developments today. What are you seeing in your area as far as new home construction, the home builders? Is it busy? I know that they're trying to cut a lot of deals, and we were just told on Friday that new home sales went up. Now, we have to be really careful how we interpret that information, because just when somebody goes under contract for a new home, that counts as a sale, even though it hasn't closed. Now, next month, we'll see how many of these new home sales actually fell through, didn't close, because we are seeing record numbers of new home sales fall through and not close. And so they can tell us that things are picking up, that we saw an uptick in new home sales, but those homes haven't even closed yet. When those people can't get financed, when those people don't get approved, or when those people find out what their monthly mortgage payment is going to be and they back out, and those deals fall through, it'll change the numbers like it always does. So they try to make it sound good. They try to make it sound positive, but these aren't even closed deals. These are people just under contract who haven't closed yet, and we'll get those numbers in the next month or two, but they're not going to be good. Over the weekend, I went to a nutrition and supplement shop, pick up some protein powder. I was absolutely blown away with the cost of protein powder now. I'm trying to, add an extra meal, a liquid meal, pre-digested meal in my workout. So I figured I'll go get, some protein powder, add another, meal or two to my diet, low calorie, high protein. I'm blown away with the cost of protein powders now, the cost of vitamins, the cost of supplements. If you want to be healthy today and you want to eat good food, you want to eat good fish, good meat, good chicken, you are going to pay the price for it. It's astonishing, the cost of all this, especially protein powders, vitamins, things like that. Then I went over to pick up some dog food for the puppy. It's incredible, the cost of dog food now. If you want to feed your dog a good quality food, I'm just shocked the cost of dog food now too. It's just going to continue to go up. So, as much as I love pets, if you're thinking about getting a pet, make sure you're fully committed. Make sure you can afford this. The pet food is so expensive. Another thing I want to touch on today, and this is just going to be a quick video for the weekend. and just some things I noted. Just again, quality of service, quality food when you go out to eat. I'm really cutting back on how much I go out to eat. I've been trying to cook as much at home. I will say that literally 99% of all breakfasts I cook at home. 90% of all dinners I cook at home. Lunch is a tough one for me when I'm out working or I'm out and about, and I just don't have the time. Sometimes I do cave into going out to eat, but the cost going out to eat, the quality of service, there's no doubt food quality is going down. The service going down. It just feels like people don't even want to be at work. They don't. They really have a terrible attitude. There's no service. Prices going up. Quantities continue to shrink, quality shrinks, and the quality of service continues to shrink also. Let me know your thoughts on that. Please comment down below. Are you experiencing the same thing? Are you seeing it improving? And you can see why automation will come in and just take over a lot of these jobs, because they don't have to deal with people being late. They don't have to deal with the attitude. They don't have to deal with paying somebody $18, $19, $20 to flip burgers. You can see where this is all going. And we will reach a point where people will beg for a job to flip burgers. They will beg for a service sector job. And we're going to watch technology and robotics replace so many of these jobs. Next thing I want to talk about is the markets tomorrow. What do you think is going to happen? I'm looking at the futures right now, pretty flat, but Berkshire Hathaway, we talked about this yesterday, their fourth quarter operating earnings were down 8%, and they are stockpiling right now on the sidelines $130 billion in cash. What do they know that the average person does not know? And what does this mean tomorrow for the markets? To me, this would not be a good sign for the markets, but the markets are so fake that I don't even think any of the fundamentals, I don't think common sense even matters in these markets right now, but it does not look like good news. We're seeing so much tension now taking place globally, the talk of world war, retail sales getting hammered. The consumer, even though they're telling you how strong the consumer is, you know and I know this is the weakest consumer we have ever seen in our lifetime. Morgan Stanley, maybe this time is different. Comment down below, is it different this time? Is this going to be different than 2008? You know, we can't even admit to ourselves that we're in a recession right now. I think it's going to be much different this time, because this time the debt is so much bigger, the deficit's so much bigger, the average person so unprepared, the average person having literally no money saved up now. We look at half this country doesn't even have $400. We look at a savings rate of 2.4%. People just are not going to be prepared for what is about to happen. And it's happening right now before our very eyes. But so many people out there don't want to see it, don't want to think about it, want to hope it just goes away. And, you know, the word hope, it's being used so much right now. And so many people are trying to make huge life-altering decisions on hope. We can hope all we want that things are going to get better. We can hope all we want that, you know, this war can be avoided. We can hope that there's not going to be any type of food crisis or energy crisis. We can hope that our gas bill is not going to triple or quadruple. But hope is a terrible, terrible strategy, ladies and gentlemen. It really is. I think right now, what we all need to be doing is be taking action financially, physically, spiritually, mentally. Things right now we need to be doing is taking action, not hoping that this nightmare is going to go away, because it is not. The fact of the matter is it is going to get much worse. Look at the data, connect the dots, do your own due diligence, take a look at what's really going on out there. They can try to sugarcoat this all that they want, but it's not going to go away. The economiccollapse.com food industry insider warns of contaminated crops as a result of the East Palestine environmental disaster. We've been talking really probably the last year about the food crisis, food shortages. Your grocery stores may have food right now. Many people haven't really seen a real shortage, but I think this year we're going to see some big problems, because we know that a lot of the ranchers turned in their cattle, sold off their cattle because they couldn't afford to feed them. And so they're not going to be able to produce meat for next year like they've done in the past. So, you know, when you start looking at 2024, 2025, we're not going to have the meat production that we once did. And we look at this crisis that took place in Ohio. This spill contaminated a lot of crops, fields, and farmers that will be planting in these fields this spring in contaminated soil. What about the spill that contaminated water? All these creeks, rivers, lakes, ponds. I think this is going to definitely add to the shortages. And when we look at what's taking place financially, what's taking place with weather, the lack of rain in the Midwest and Texas, and you know, all of this has a delayed response. And I think this year we begin to see the problems from last year really peak or begin to peak this year and next year. And now with this chemical spill that we just had, how much does this add to the problem? How much does this add to the shortages? And this food, look, they're going to grow crops in these areas. And remember that plume went over 5 states, multiple counties, contaminated water that flows in multiple states. And so that all comes to the ground. It's all in the dirt, in the soil, and farmers are going to be planting in that soil, and people all over the United States are going to be eating that food. And right now, a lot of people are getting sick, and think about how many more people will get sick when they're eating contaminated food and they don't know it. So let me know your thoughts on that. Is this a problem? Am I just making a mountain out of a molehill here, or is this really going to be a problem? It's in the water. It's in the ponds, the rivers, the creeks, the lakes. It's in the sky. It's been raining and out there in the Midwest, and it's hitting the soil. It's hitting the fields. Next article coming from the Wall Street Journal, Ohio train derailment, contamination. Now, this grocery store chain called Giant Eagle has hundreds of stores in 5 states. They pulled the bottled water off the shelves out of an abundance of caution because the water was bottled within 25 miles of the derailment. What do you think about that? And you know, hey, I think that says a lot about this grocery chain, Giant Eagle, for looking out for its customers and doing something like that. I commend them for taking action and looking out for people, looking out for their customers. Fantastic. But again, this is another indicator that this thing is much worse than we're being told. And what about the lives of these people in Ohio? What are they going to do? Will they ever be able to return home? How much is this going to cost the average person to stay at a hotel somewhere, to not go back to work, to not go back to their home, to make a living? I don't know. I've just been thinking about it, and my heart goes out to these people. And every one of us this evening, please, let's say a prayer for these people. My heart goes out to them. They just seem like really good, blue-collar people. And it's just terrible that it just happened to. I would not wish this upon my worst enemy. And it just seems like some of the worst things happen to the nicest people. So, let's take a couple minutes out of our busy schedule and say a prayer for these people. Maybe this evening before we go to bed, let's say a prayer for these people, that they get some help, that this thing gets cleaned up, and that maybe we stop spending billions of dollars in other countries and we start maybe spending billions of dollars in places like East Palestine, Ohio, and surrounding counties, and make sure that these people are safe and that their community gets cleaned up. So I think I'm going to leave it there today. It'll be interesting to see how things play out tomorrow. Again, I don't care if the Dow Jones goes up 1,000 points tomorrow. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not in these markets. I don't have a 401k. I don't have a pension. I don't really care. I follow these markets because I'm really concerned about people who are in these markets who actually think they're not in these markets. You have a pension, you have a 401k, you're in these markets. And I'm concerned about people who are in these markets. People are being misled. The data, I think, is completely manipulated. I think people are really being lied to at this point. And I think we're getting very, very close to the rug being pulled out on these markets. I don't see a pivot. I don't see a reversal. I don't think Jerome Powell is even thinking about reversing course at this point. The Fed has dug a deep, deep hole here, and now they're going to have a real task at hand trying to clean up this mess, which I think is going to be impossible since the government cannot stop spending. The government is on a spending spree, ladies and gentlemen, while the Fed is raising rates. So I don't know how this all ends, but it's going to end bad no matter what. No matter what the Fed does at this point, whether they reverse course, don't reverse course, raise rates, it's going to end very, very bad. And we're going to continue to see more cracks in the housing market. My prediction stands. As I said many, many months ago, we are going to see mortgage rates, the 30-year fixed rate, go past 10%. We are now, right now, if you have a low FICO, you're paying over 8% on a 30-year today, right now. So we're going to get another rate hike by the Fed this March. And that means that your credit card debt, to service that debt, is going to go up. You want to use that credit card, it's going to cost you more. You want to go buy a car, new or used, you need to borrow money, it's going to cost more to get that loan. You want to buy a house, guess what? The mortgage rates are going up. So prepare, ladies and gentlemen. And as I leave you today, really quick, just talking about this disaster that took place in Ohio, water, food, we are going to see prices of food continue to go up. We are going to see shortages, especially if you want better quality food. It's going to get a lot more expensive. Take some time and money right now and start bulking up on your food reserves. If you think you don't have enough, then you don't have enough. Go buy more. If you think you have enough, I promise you, you don't have enough. Go get more. The prices are only going up, and heaven forbid there's another derailment. Heaven forbid the shortages get worse, the prices go up more and more and more. At least you got food, because the last place you want to go when the lights go out, the grid goes down, the last place you want to be going is to a Walmart or a grocery store. God bless every one of you. Stay safe out there. Make sure that you're walking close to God, praying for this country, and say a prayer for those people in Ohio. Talk to every one of you very, very soon.